봤을 뿐인 얼굴 떠오르지 않나요? 네. 꺼림직한 건 나인데 신경 쓰이잖아요. 희미해져가는 게 사라져 없어져 버린다는 게 망설임은 항상 내 편 물어볼 수조차 없죠. 대체 어디로들 가는 건지 몰라. 인생 마지막에 숨을 든 채로 몸을 던져버리잖아. 색바랜 기록 위에 눈물 닿아도 빛은 돌아오지 않아. 구겨진 기억만을 안고 살고 싶다면 누구에게 말해야만 해. 가장 바라고 가장 두려운 것은 마음의 저편에 두고 온 나일래 어느새 손에 쥐어져 거짓말처럼 바라지 않는 거라도 좋아. 두려워도 괜찮을 거라고 하는 그 소리 거짓말 하는 그 story 타임라인 저 듣기 아래 쌓여버리겠지. 처음으로 지은 표정 귀엽다고 해줘요. 네 거짓말하는 건 난데 회자정인가요? 슬가원이 거리 두는 게 당신이 먼저 다가왔던 건데 배신감은 항상 독차지 칠흑 같은 관계의 색 대체 언제 그렇게 발라둔지 몰라. 인생 마지막 순간인 것처럼 눈을 감고 다니잖아. 관계도처럼 줄이 그어져 있어 너와 나 어느 사이에 뒤틀린 추억만을 공유하고 싶다면 누구에게 말해야만 해. 가장 바라고 가장 두려운 것은 마음의 저편에 두고 온 나일래 어느새 손에 쥐어져 거짓말처럼 바라지 않는 거라도 좋아. 두려워도 괜찮을 거라고. 애써 연기를 해도 가면을 쓰고 하면 어떡해. 정론이지만 내 답으로서 노답인 거네. 한치 틀림없이 어긋난 관음 관심 관용 관샘 너와 나의 추종자가 숨을 손에 품고 위를 잃어버린 꿈에 미련은 없는 거야. 후회는 하지만 사랑했었지만 사랑받은 기억은 거짓말처럼 바라지 않는 거라도 좋아. 두려워도 괜찮을 거라고 하는 그 소리 거짓말 하는 그 story 타임라인 저 듣기 아래 쌓여버리겠지.
Good evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of filled tombs, where the latest candidate for filling our tombs is a minotaur which has just arrived to relieve us of our treasures. Well, actually not, because I think while they are attracted by treasure, they don't take any of it away. Not that we usually find out, because they would try to slaughter the whole fortress first. I think that minotaur is mostly named. Yes, it does have an utterly stupid name. Its various surnames translate as Routed Blaze, the Swift Cudgel of Axes, or possibly Axes, but I think Axes.
I mean, axes seem
Which reminds me, somewhere around here I have our siege checklist.
Are you wrapping up or going away?
Well, this Minotaur's just arrived.
Oh no.
So I think that that attempting to apply this would probably be helpful. So that says the siege operators should all be made siege operations specialists. The front siege engine should be set to stand ready, and the others should be set to not in use. I mean, actually, I think they should probably be set to fire fairly shortly, but still. The main burrow should be unpaused, and the pasture and the should be unpaused, and the pasture and the war dogs should be unpaused. That's the wrong way round, Harris. Have I got my checklist backwards? The main burrow should be unpaused, and the pasture and walk dogs should be paused. Yes, maybe I got that wrong in a different way. Let's see if we can find them here. Yes. Though we do have to do this by a slightly fiddly mechanism. The Barbican wagon bridge should be retracted, that is lever to the right, and the inner drawbridge should be extended, that is lever to the left. Yes. Barbican wagon bridge should be lever to the right. Inner drawbridge should be lever to the left, so those both need pulling. Those are actually both quite important. And finally, if there were any mines on the surface, we should put them into blueprint mode, and insofar as we have bolt holes, we should really make some proper bolt holes. We should make sure their doors are open in case anyone wants to get inside them.
I was confused there. I thought if there are any surface mines, you should arm them.
I don't think we have any land actually marked for mining out here at the moment. Certainly doesn't look like it. But I honestly can't remember, so I'm going to check at least those areas that I might plausibly have been doing that on, which is not most of the forest because it's mostly soil. Right, yes, okay. So then we probably want to look at why there are dwarves on the surface and try to encourage them to stop doing whatever they're doing and come inside. So you're trying to store something in a stockpile. You are Ficod, Accod Thingamy. So if I choose that, that will remove you from that that thing, yes. Okay, that should then cause you to immediately go home. What else is there outdoors? Doesn't actually seem to be many other people out here. There's a few animals there. The obvious other place where they might be is around the fields in the forest. Yes, there's a couple down there, right. So you're Nishathel. seem to be doing anything. Maybe I should have checked whether they were doing anything. You're a store item in barrel niche. But that surely you're going inside anyway. You're just carrying some seeds with you. We may as well let you get on with that, and you have no job, right? Which might be a problem if you don't decide to go indoors because you don't have anything to do in there. So let's see how that goes. I'm wondering if I should. What's our current military availability status? We don't seem to have a squad currently active. So let's ask the Divine Stones to station themselves there. Oh, and I need to do something now about the syrups of starting, don't I? Probably wants to be added to the checklist because they're currently in their rather complicated set of orders. Quick question, Harris. If we look at a different group, right, they have different orders under those columns, yes. So can we now edit the syrups of startings thing to say that column is now actually equip always? That's kind of silly, but it'll do the job for now. Probably want to adjust the column names a bit. Dizzy, it says of the military, are any of them wearing clothes? That is a good question. So yes, we've taken the syrups of starting off military duty so that they can come and staff the bolt throwers. Though maybe that's not a good plan, actually. Now, yeah, maybe let's actually no. I bet let's first inspect the person who is in the bunker and say, what do you have with you? Does it, for instance, include a crossbow and any bolts? No, it doesn't. Right. Then there is no point in your being there. Oops. And you should indeed be on no orders. Right, so now let us visit our Minotaur and see how she is doing. She's terrified. Well, that's nice.
I missed something. Is she in conflict already?
I don't know. Possibly she spotted some dwarves down the hill. Well, she's currently just standing on the edge of the map, which is probably good. So though someone has managed to get into a fight, what have you done? Oh, have you been... Oh, right, yes. Everyone has been slightly surprised by the fact that the wagon bridge was just withdrawn. And they've all fallen one floor down. I don't think it's going to cause any serious injuries, but... I mean, a leather dress is fine for stopping you getting hurt by a fall that short. So, has our Minotaur moved yet? No. See, the Minotaur is friendly, unlike the elves, and will stand around for long enough for us to get ourselves slightly organised. Gosh, you've gone into military mode and not immediately rushed towards the Minotaur. Well done. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one reasonably equipped axe dwarf... Are you a reasonably equipped axe dwarf? Yes, you are. Was actually capable of taking out a Minotaur, but... Right, Minotaur is on the move, which might actually mean that she can catch our Axe Dwarf anyway. That's quite quick. But it's a bit hard to see because it's all on different Z levels, of course. That's a very fast Minotaur. I'm going to go down to single stepping this Minotaur. I think the Minotaur has spotted someone. See in my track log, thing cancels harvest plants interrupted by a Minotaur. Where are you getting that interruption? You are outside the fortress, you fool. I would suggest that you flee inside the fortress. Yeah, no, that's not quite the right direction to flee in. Right, you've just met a Minotaur. We have a fair number of military, actually. I think, given that, our approach should be, much though Dizzyat will complain about that we're sending everyone out, we're risking the fortress to save one person. I think it is worth telling our military types, actually let's tell both the Divine Stones and the Crystalline Drums, that they should both kill that Minotaur. Because I think otherwise that planter is going to be in some trouble. And I think if we mob the Minotaur fast enough, we might get away with this. Okay, that's not looking very good for the poor planter, actually. If you've been gored in such a way as to bruise your heart. After like about 5 frames, it's going to take us a little while to get the military out the front of the fortress. So apparently our planter is laughing in the face of death and has now been thrown, and hence is airborne, which is an excellent way to get them slightly further away from the Minotaur. Except the Minotaur is now moving towards the planter. Oh no, apparently the planter's going that way, through the air. And kicks them on the way past. That's a good manoeuvre, Minotaur. Sorry, I should remember your name. That's rude to just call you Minotaur. Istrath. Okay, it wasn't a very long throw. Planter has already hit the ground and is still in the same square. Moved by 1 square. Right, they are now travelling a bit further, leaving a smear of blood behind them. Sorry, please give the planter... No, I can't select the planter at the moment. The planter's in the air. Ow. Problem is that we've had like enough time for the military to take about 2 steps towards the front of the fortress. I think this does mean that we need everyone to have, at the very least, enough armour to survive being beaten up for a little bit. I mean, there will be someone at the bolt thrower in about whatever time it takes to walk about 30 squares.
Rhapsody, I think.
Yes. But I am quite worried that this poor planter is not going to survive. So yeah, we do need... I mean, the planter did try to attack the Minotaur briefly, but the Minotaur has apparently managed to grab the planter's tongue.
I do wonder if dwarves have very... their anatomy just arranged very differently.
Sorry, I should also know the planter's name, really. Rith. Istrath versus Rith. Rith has become enraged. I'm not sure this will help. I mean, yes, your nearest saviour has made, I think, a step since you started getting beaten up. Well, I mean, if Istrath keeps doing this kind of thing, grabbing and then releasing Rith, we might have a chance. Okay, now the Minotaur is airborne, having leapt away. I have a note saying the planter attacks the Minotaur, but she jumps away, and she jumps away off the edge of this slope. Which is intriguing. They're still fighting, even though the Minotaur is airborne. Indeed, the Minotaur has grabbed Istrath has grabbed Rith. So Rith is now possibly going to get pulled down with her? No. Minotaur has gone over the edge onto the next Z level down. and is quite capable of attacking from down there, thank you very much. Poor ribs. Minotaur has dodged again, which is helpful because it puts Istrath a little further away, out of punching range. Our useful squads have still not moved. The Minotaur has closed in again and started doing weird things. Grabbed the planter's shoe and then released it. Still some distance before we can get anyone near next to a bolt thrower. Oh dear, you went to... Please, Istrath, stop punching poor Rith. That was nasty. We're only about 1/3 of the distance towards having a useful... Dizzy says, Rith is helpfully delaying the Minotaur to give you a chance to close the front door. Hey, the front door is in the process of... Oh, that's why the military can't come out. We've locked the front door. We have closed the front door, thank you, Dizzy. That's why the military are not coming out here. Excuse me while I open the front door. Because the front door, in particular, there's this enormous quantity of traps, and I'm pretty sure Minotaurs don't have trap avoidance. Let me just check that Minotaurs don't have trap avoidance. Yes, Minotaurs are not capable of avoiding traps. So actually whether the inside front door is open or not is pretty much irrelevant, because the Minotaurs can't dodge this lot as long as we've raised the bridge, which we have. So it is actually quite safe to open that again, so as to let the military out. Still, salvation is on its way in the form of a siege operator eventually. Like this sort of sequence is fine. Like people getting grabbed and released is generally painless. I mean, okay, that might be less good. Being grabbed by the throat, yeah, might cause problems. Oh dear, yes, that's not nice. The planter has passed out from being strangled by the Minotaur. That feels like it was quicker than it should have been, but... Oh dear, poor Rith has died. Well, in that case, we don't need to send the military out there urgently, because while there are people... Hang on, you're going the wrong way. That's not good. I mean, I hope you'll flee back inside the fortress. That would certainly be the sensible thing for you to do. And there is a way in, the one-way what's names. Oh, Of course, the military are keener than most, and so they will happily go through the one-way doors in the wrong direction, which like requires climbing and such, if that's a way to get out. So I think I am hopeful that this dwarf, Zaneg, will not be foolish enough as to keep going outwards and will go, there's a Minotaur out there, I'm not going out there. And thus that we don't need to send the military out there. So let's see if that works. Zaneg is still leaving at the moment, that's not good. You've just seen Rith wire carried die in front of you. Do you not think that this might be an indication that you shouldn't be going out of the fortress? Yes, good, excellent. You have spotted the Minotaur. Well done. You are doing the correct thing in response to seeing the Minotaur, which is to run back into the fortress. Run back into, in particular, the great big pile of weapon traps just inside the fortress. The Minotaur herself, Istrath, is also being a bit uneasy about the amount of death she's caused.
What did she turn up for?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're as I said, I think they're attracted by treasure rather than by people. The fact that she had to kill someone to get into the fortress. But like, the person she killed was not actually hostile. She could perfectly well have ignored them and charged into the fortress for her own purposes. Well, we hope that's the only death she's going to cause. Because like now she should run into that enormous pile of weapon traps. She's moving very fast. Which is slightly worrying because she's like only a couple of squares away from the next from the dwarf who isn't fleeing her, because they're a siege engineer, which should be okay. As in, they're not a siege operator, and so shouldn't be excessively brave. That's not the correct direction, though. Run down the hill. You need to go like 2 squares east and things will get much better for you. You need to not attack the Minotaur. That's the correct direction to go, yes. You need to go a few more Z levels down, but in particular, being gored by a Minotaur is not going to be good for you. My dear Zaneg, why are you going up? That's not the correct direction to go in. We're trying to get the Minotaur to come down. I mean, now you can flee the Minotaur outwards, I suppose, and probably by the time Istrath gets round to going that way, we'll actually have someone at the relevant siege engine. Fortunately, Uzol has managed to get gored again. Just go as fast as you can eastwards. This will save you. Okay, I think my position now is officially, we should send the military in there because otherwise we're liable to lose 2 more dwarves. I mean, they can't get in there at the moment, owing to, well, I mean they can, but only by climbing. I mean, you've actually attempted to bruise this Minotaur by punching her, which, like, is brave. Uzol is now, yes. Oh dear, yes, you have been horribly injured. Look, you're like 4 squares away from some decent weapon traps. Get down there. Oh, excellent. It's that effect again, where the Minotaur has seized a sock and is now going to use it as a weapon. I had a Minotaur in an earlier fortress that had a sock with like 5 kills attributed to it. It appears in the rotation of the front, on the front page of the Dwarf Fortress wiki, because it's such an awesome sock. I don't know if this version of Dwarf Fortress attributes kills to weapons anymore, or, as the case may be, socks. Oh dear, that looks pretty horrible. Oops. You've managed to chip the bone of someone's lower left leg with a sock. I suspect there may be like an iron fist in this pigtail sock, or at least a Minotaur fist in a pigtail sock. I mean, I appreciate your bravery, Zaneg, in attacking this Minotaur that you could quite reasonably run away from. I think I will have to appoint you to the military for your bravery. Though the being appointed to the military is, of course, not an excellent way to continue being alive. But, well, it does get you decent weapons, I suppose. So the Minotaur is now leading the way to the weapon traps, having jumped down onto the correct Z level. You only have to move 2 squares eastwards, Istrath, and then you'll get beaten up by maces. Right, Zaneg is at least providing some distraction here. By providing someone to miss or be missed by. But we would really like this Minotaur to keep moving eastwards. At some point the military will be able to get in, because I don't think I cancelled pulling the lever. I mean, no one's pulled it yet, mind, but... So we've got at least 100 steps before anything happens. Ooh, that looked nasty. Yes, Uzol has been bitten quite viciously in the foot. Zaneg appears to be like coming down here in a good way. Okay, Istrath has bitten Uzol's foot and removed the entire foot. But got scratched by Zaneg, so that's kind of good. Yes, yes, keep going that way, Zaneg. That's helpful. One more square, please. There's some perfectly ordinary, no, not that one, Istrath fighting by hitting people with her sock. This is why I should probably arrange, well, I suppose more weapon traps down here would be a good start. Though, strictly, Istrath hasn't actually stepped off the ramp. So she hasn't stepped onto a square that could have a weapon trap yet. That's looking nasty for Uzol. I mean, Zaneg is doing their very best to punch. Diziat says, could you have prevented these people from meeting the Minotaur by lifting the outer drawbridge? I don't think so. I think they were, well, possibly I could at the expense of locking someone else out. What I would have done by doing that is put them within reach of the outer siege weapons. Bolt thrower, though. There were like 3 dwarves outside at the time that the Minotaur showed up. Zanig is doing a good job of punching this Minotaur, but we would really prefer it if they would persuade the Minotaur to go backwards a bit. Like, there's a lot of armourer punching the Minotaur repeatedly going on, but it would be really helpful if the armourer could, like, step eastwards by a couple of squares. Okay, that was an impressive move for someone who hasn't brought any weapons. Has managed to scratch the Minotaur's first finger on her left hand, so badly as to rip it into loose shreds, which, like, it's quite good, really, with just your fingernails. Yes, that's an excellent direction to dodge in. Well, at least it's not a bad direction to dodge in. She probably won't go the right way from there. In particular, because a certain siege engineer has apparently turned up to get in the way. Several military dwarves are now making their way into the Barbican again. Go on, attack the Minotaur in a way that causes her to dodge in the correct direction. One more dodge and you might be able to get her onto a weapon trap. So we've now got, yes, siege engineer is in serious trouble, but Zanig is doing a pretty decent job. No, don't go that way, that's unhelpful. Istrath just dodged in the wrong direction. I mean, I suppose success in bruising a Minotaur liver. So the military are working out how to get in here while we wait for the inner drawbridge to be opened. Zanig has improved their observation. Yes, well spotted, it's a Minotaur. Oh dear, that was quite bad for poor Uzol. has been hit in the head with a sock, fracturing her skull. I'm pleased to see, though, that that Zanek has also improved their striking. Military is still going, how do we get through here? Because the inner drawbridge is still closed. Right, just push the Minotaur 1 square eastwards. That was actually Uzol doing that attack. Why is the Minotaur prone? I mean, the Minotaur is overexerted and bleeding. We have seen in the past that, like, as a reasonable sized mob of goblins could deal with a single terrifying dwarf just by wearing them out. Like, she is bleeding from several places. So, yes, the poor siege engineer has been gored in the eye in such a way as to only bruise her eyelid. And the siege engineer is meanwhile improving fighting. That was satisfying. I mean, I'm otherwise being killed by this Minotaur, but I've improved my fighting. Oh, what was I saying about if a competent fighter gets mobbed, they can often be worn out? The Minotaur passes out from exhaustion, sadly on the wrong square. Pass out from exhaustion on a weapon trap and we can kill you really quickly.
You think just push them gently in the direction?
Just roll her over that way. I mean, she probably does weigh like half a ton or something. Might be quite hard to roll her over. Dizia says, mobbed by 3 civilian dwarves. Apparently so. One of whom is getting pretty good at punching Minotaurs, to be fair. I mean, at least adequate fighter. Only novice striker, mind. So obviously what you do when you've got the Minotaur into this state is bite her in the head. Uzol, what have you just done? The siege engineer, having bitten the Minotaur in the head, shakes the Minotaur around by the head, tearing apart the head's fat and tearing apart the upper spine's nervous tissue. A tendon in the upper spine has been torn. The Minotaur loses hold of the pigtail sock.
The Sock of Doom.
But moreover, I think that might have paralysed the Minotaur. Even ignoring that the Minotaur is still unconscious. Military still confused by doors. So yes, those two are now repeatedly punching the Minotaur in the head, and this is an entertaining slight bug in, well, not really, maybe a bug in how creatures in Dwarf Fortress handle unconscious enemies, which is that they basically always target the head once the creature's unconscious, which means that a dwarf with a really good helmet can survive quite a long time if they're knocked out. While they're still conscious, their enemies will attack other parts of their body, which might not be so well armoured. So we're getting a sequence of basically the same attacks repeated again and again and again. As Uzol shakes his Strath around by the head, and the armourer, whose name I've forgotten, repeatedly punches his Strath in the head. Zaneg. Right, the inner drawbridge is now open, which means the military can get at them easily. And I hope that they will get there before the Minotaur regains consciousness, though I don't think that's going to make much difference. Yeah, we're basically getting the same attacks again and again, so I'm not going to repeatedly open them. The military aren't actually making much progress. Oh, they've moved one step. Possibly they'll spot the Minotaur and start running. So yes, this is Dizzy notes this Minotaur's head is made entirely of upper spine nervous tissue and gobbets of fat. Well, I think what's happening here, what the Dwarf Fortress model is that you have multiple layers of tissue. So you have skin on the outside and then fat under that, and then usually muscle and bone under there. There's probably not much muscle on a Minotaur's head. So what this means is that there are basically two layers of damage going on here. There's the immediate superficial effects on the Minotaur's head fat, of which there probably isn't much of either. And then there's the effects of shaking it around, which is damaging the nervous tissue in the upper spine. Is I think what the model is trying to implement. I'm going to be slightly disappointed when this Minotaur gets killed by someone who's turned up far too late with an axe. Good, good. I don't know if you're going to survive this fight, but you've improved your wrestling. Oh, you're not actually bleeding at the moment, so you're probably all right if you're not dead already. So now up to novice wrestler. Right, here comes the late arriving axe dwarf, who will probably behead this Minotaur with one blow. But not until someone else has had a go. Nish, the planter who was outdoors, has come back and punched the Minotaur. Right, there we go. Minotaur defeated. A different Zaneg has turned up and beheaded the Minotaur. Right, now we just need someone to come and rescue our somewhat injured siege engineer. Right, post-siege checklist. Siege operators back to generalists. Front siege engines load, other siege engines whatever is appropriate. Main burrow pause, pasture and war dogs unpause. Oops. Why have we got 3 pastures? What's the other one? I never paused war dogs because I didn't realise that that was one of the pastures I was meant to do something with. Wagon bridge extend, inner drawbridge retract. We've already retracted the inner drawbridge. Surface mines back to standard. There aren't any. Probably do something about the bolt holes. think I forgot to unlock that one, but I think it's unlocked anyway, yes. Since there's someone in it, I won't try to do anything with it, even if it's only a dog. I mean, I suppose dogs are immortal, or at least don't need to eat, so we could actually just lock the dog in there. Not anyone's pet or anything. Right, and then we can unpause and check that Uzol gets properly treated, despite not having a left foot anymore. Oh, let's arrange for their left foot to be disposed of. Istrath's body just needs to be. We'll unforbid Istrath's Uzol's sock. Istrath's body should be dumped because we won't be willing to butcher it because she was intelligent. If we can work out where her head has gone, we should... okay, it's in the same square, but apparently I can't select it at the moment. Probably it's airborne. Right, that should be dumped as well. So as someone picked up the various tasks we need, someone is burying our unfortunate dead. Several people are apparently picking up equipment, which is probably good. Apparently lots of people are pasturing stray cats. Oh, I think I may have... That may be the one that I unpaused incorrectly. Okay, yes. So there doesn't seem to be a recover wounded job yet, which I would have expected. Ah! She died. Uzol died. After her immensely brave fight against the Minotaur Istrath, shortly after the death of the Minotaur, she died herself, having basically, well, strictly she didn't kill it, but she did break its neck, so it wasn't going to live for very much longer if someone hadn't come along and beheaded it. But still, that is quite sad. And she won't be credited with having killed it because she didn't actually strike the killing blow. Yes, death is indeed all around us. You are right to be uneasy. Right, someone is now lugging a dead Minotaur to the rubbish dump. Slightly concerned that it might take a little while for Uzol's burial to get scheduled, but kind of slightly concerned that it hasn't been already. Let's just confirm that there are at least some spare coffins up here. This was what we were filling earlier, wasn't it? Well, I think there might not be actually. Oh dear, are we out of coffins? How embarrassing. While I'm here, let's unlock that. Oh, actually, no. I don't know really whether it's worth keeping a stock of blocks up here. Let's put some wall in there. And then we need to make another batch of coffins. Is that the right approach? No, that's not done as a work order, but that's probably right because actually that will make it get done quicker. And then we'll do another batch afterwards. Okay, Uzol's missing foot has, I think, already been taken to the rubbish dump, which is a pity because, oh no, is that it? Yes, let's quickly forbid that foot and mark it as not for dumping after all. Because that way it can get buried properly rather than being unceremoniously fed into the rubbish dump. And one convenient thing about the layout of the fortress now is that most people will not see Uzol's dead body down there. We should have a coffin fairly soon. So I think this is making me think, what are you doing? Oh right, you're cleaning the blood up. Yeah, okay, you can carry on doing that. I mean, it'll upset you that there's a dead Uzol there, but yes, uneasy but satisfied at work. Satisfied with getting all the blood off the traps, even though the traps didn't actually do anything. On which subject, if we got any spare weapons, we can use to stick some more weapon traps in here. I mean, wooden swords are not going to be very effective, but they can, if nothing else, cause invaders to dodge onto other traps. We also like sticking bows in things. We generally want to put spears in the bottom of the moat, though. On which subject? How many spears have we got anyway? Yeah, that's enough for one more. I mean, it's not quite 10, but it's close. Especially if we include the iron one. Right, I think that means we now have a coffin. Let's wait for that to be installed before we try to mark it as being a tomb. No, that was the wrong button. That's not the follow button. That's the forbid button. Is someone going to come and pick up this coffin? I presume they are. Yes, right. So one thing I might want to do is to try to arrange a way that the that we have some bolt throwers firing into the Barbican, because the thing we actually managed to get organised pretty quickly there was was someone staffing a bolt thrower. Right, someone has, no, that's not the right person. Someone has got themselves on the burial task. But yes, while some more bolt throwers would indeed be quite fun, I think right now it is actually getting late, and once we've seen Uzol properly buried, I'll probably be going to bed. But like, it is important to ensure that all the post Minotaur activities are properly completed. Right, her left foot has been properly buried. Now someone else who is in a more sensible location has been assigned to the job of burying the rest of her. Right. So farewell Uzol Bomret Giken, who kept the Minotaur busy long enough to at least save one of her fellows, and who will now be walled into that tomb in order to avoid any zombie-shaped embarrassment. Not that we've had any yet, but... So, I think that will be all for tonight. And yes, I think based on that, we are going to want to do something about the making it in some way possible. That now needs loading with arrows, doesn't it? To have siege engines covering the Barbican, but I don't know quite how that's going to work. We'll find that out on Sunday, I expect. So until then, I will save this and say good night. Good night.